They called her Maria even though her name was Elena. Maria, bring the tray. Maria, clean the marble. Maria, close the blinds. She never corrected them, never flinched. She just bowed her head and moved. That's what she did for 12 years in the Lawson estate, a mansion perched in the Hollywood Hills with 9 bedrooms, 2 pools, and no soul. My name is Daniel Rivera. I was 8 when my mother got the job, 14 when they accused her of theft, and 29 when I came back with a microphone, a story, and the kind of truth they thought would never catch up with them. We lived in a 1-bedroom in East Hollywood, not the arts district, not the cafes and film school end. The other side, chain link fences, muffler shops, and sagging laundry lines. My mom left at 5:30 every morning and came home after dark, smelling of bleach and lavender. I'd sit at the little table, doing homework, while she made rice and eggs and hummed boleros under her breath. The Lawsons paid her $15 an hour, off the books, no health insurance, no sick days, no pension, but she smiled, called it honest work. I visited the mansion once. It was take your child to work day. A fluke. Mrs. Lawson wasn't home. Mom showed me the kitchen the size of our whole apartment. The fridge had drawers for fruit. The floors were warm. She showed me how to vacuum a Persian rug without leaving marks. She looked proud, like she belonged. Then Mr. Lawson walked in, didn't even glance at me, said, "Maria, tell the gardener the gate lock is broken." She nodded, "Yes, sir." When I was 14, it happened. Mrs. Lawson's diamond necklace went missing. She called the police, didn't ask questions, didn't search the house, just pointed at my mother and said, "She's the only one who's been near the dresser." No charges were filed, but the damage was done. She was fired, banned from the property, gossiped out of every cleaning job for 20 miles. They didn't press charges. They didn't need to. They just let the assumption spread. I watched my mother fold into herself that year. She started working night shifts in a laundry, coughed blood in winter, still didn't complain, just whispered, "They think silence protects them." I made a vow that day. I would learn how to speak so loudly the rich would hear me through concrete and glass. I got a scholarship, studied journalism, took 2 buses to campus every day, worked the radio board, learned editing, storytelling, how to put anger into grammar. By 24, I was writing exposés. By 27, I was on cable news. By 29, I got a lead from a source. Dig into the Lawson Foundation. You'll find blood in the vault. I didn't react. Not then, just nodded, and opened a new file. The Lawson Foundation looked clean on paper. Scholarships, art grants, feeding programs. Their website showed smiling kids, celebrity donors, press clippings. But I knew better. Nonprofits like that don't run on kindness. They run on filters and laundering. I started with the board, cross-referenced names, found shell LLCs in Delaware, properties held in trusts, a youth theater initiative that never opened but drained $500,000 in development expenses, a food relief project that bought no food but paid $38,000 in consulting fees to the CEO's cousin. Everywhere I looked, the numbers lied, but the patterns didn't. Then I found it. A payment from Lawson Family Trust to a company called Malrose Management, dated 2 weeks before my mother was fired. $68,400 for loss mitigation. That's not housework. That's hush money. I called the number registered to the LLC. It rang once. Voicemail. You've reached a secure inbox. Leave nothing traceable. That's when I knew this wasn't personal vengeance anymore. This was organized deception. I pitched the story to my editor. He said, "This is career-ending stuff. You sure?" I said, "I've been sure for 20 years. He gave me 3 weeks. In that time, I found 2 former employees. One, a chauffeur, the other, a personal assistant to Mrs. Lawson. Both refused to go on record. But one of them, the assistant, emailed me later. She knew the necklace wasn't stolen. She used it to purge the staff. There was talk of insurance claims. Don't quote me. Then came the threat. My apartment door, jammed open with a screwdriver. Nothing stolen. Just my files rearranged. Flash drive missing. A card left on my desk. Some things are better cleaned up. I took a picture, then moved my investigation to the cloud. Meanwhile, public records opened a new window. Property taxes underpaid, zoning laws bent, donations tied to campaign funds. One name kept coming up: Councilman Gary Dorsett, the same official who had helped block formal charges in my mother's case 2 decades ago. The same man who shared a golf club membership with Richard Lawson. I filed a request for his financial disclosures. Then I got a call, blocked number, calm voice. "If you air this, you'll regret it. We don't forget the help." I hung up and started writing the script. I didn't sleep for 2 days. Then my editor called, said, "We're greenlit, live segment, national. You've got 5 minutes. Choose your words." I asked, "Can I say their names?" He said, "Only if you're ready to never unsay them." I said, "I've been ready since they called my mother Maria." The studio lights were blinding. The mic was clipped to my collar. My palms were sweating, but my voice was steady. The countdown started. "We're live in 5, 4, 3. Then the anchor turned to me and said, "Daniel Rivera joins us now with an explosive investigation." I looked into the camera and told the world everything. I showed the shell companies, the fake charities, the forged invoices, the payment logs tied to elected officials, the necklace, never reported to insurance, the assistant's statement. She used it to purge the help, the threats, the intimidation, the fear they'd hidden behind for decades. And then I said, "My mother, Elena Rivera, worked for the Lawsons for 12 years. She was loyal, quiet, and honest. They called her Maria and fired her over a lie, to cover up their greed. Today, we call that a footnote. I call it the first brick in their empire of fraud." The segment ended in silence. Then it went viral. 50 million views in 2 days. The Lawsons issued a statement, baseless claims from a biased reporter. But the document said otherwise. Then came the resignations. Councilman Dorsett first, then the Lawsons were subpoenaed. The foundation shut down. The IRS opened an audit, and the mansion picketed, defaced, empty. They tried to sue me. It didn't work. My paper backed me. So did 3 nonprofit watchdog groups. And the people? They showed up in my inbox. One message said, "My mom cleaned houses her whole life. Thank you for saying her name." Another, "I used to work for the Lawsons. You told the truth I couldn't." And another, "They buried your mom's dignity. You dug it out with fire." I visited her grave that week, first time in a year. I read her the headline, "Journalist exposes elite corruption in decades-long scandal." Then I left a pink rose and whispered, "We said your name, Mama." And this time they listened. I never asked for revenge. I asked for truth. And now I know it echoes longer than silence. Thank you for watching. If you want to get more of that kind of stories, press like and check out our channel.